and be able to join sooner than later. So we again want to thank you for making the time to join us and to participate in the meeting. We really appreciate it. And we're going to just ask that you continue to make yourself available so that we are able to have the meeting. So we have 65 persons in the room. Generally, I'll maybe start with about 70, but we're going to call the meeting to order in a minute or two, and then we're going to do the opening prayer. So good night to everyone again, and welcome to meeting. I do pray that tonight will be a good meeting. So I'm gonna call the meeting to order just now. So the meeting is officially called to order at 6:11 p.m. And we're just gonna request a parent to pray. I'm not quite sure who would like on the floor would like to pray. So I'm just gonna ask you to indicate briefly and say your name, and we can begin to offer prayer. Any parent?
Good evening, everyone. This is Melissa Davis.
Okay, thank you so much. Go ahead.
Let's have some reverence. Heavenly Father, as we gather together as this PTA body, we pray, Lord, that whatever is discussed in this meeting, that it will be beneficial to our students and the school as a whole. May we have respect. May our minds be open to give whatever suggestions that are needed to move us forward. We hasten the footsteps of others. Those persons who are on their home, be with them, Lord, as your will be done. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you so much for that, Melissa. Thank you for that prayer. And so tonight's meeting is called to order, and I just want again to welcome everyone who is in the room and who made the effort to join. I know some parents are still maybe in transit, and currently we have over 71 persons, just now 72 persons in the room, and we're very grateful for that. So the agenda is shared on screen, and as you see, so we have very few items to cover tonight, not too much. However, so this meeting is the online meeting. So our next meeting will be face-to-face. So again, I welcome you and greet you well. There is a short video that I'd like to share, and then we're going to have the confirmation of the minutes. All right, so I'm going to share a short video with you. This video is maybe about 5 minutes long, and so please bear with me as we share. So this video is about 3 minutes long.
So what is one of the biggest mistakes that you see parents make that is a universal?
I think that we operate out of fear. The greatest mistake I believe parents make is that we are fear-based. If we are really honest with ourselves, if we ask, am I saying this out of abundance? Yeah. Am I freaking out over my kid right now because I'm just coming out of abundance and I trust and I surrender? Or am I freaking out because I'm terrified my kid will be homeless and I will then feel terrible about myself?
Oh.
And that's the ultimate knock. It's not how bad my kid's life will be, but how bad I'll feel that my kid's life is so bad. So that's why we all want our kids to be happy, because we feel good. But just that goal of wanting your kid to be happy is so utopic and so silly, really.
But so cultural, like you even hear that. What do you want for the atypical spiritual types?
Yeah.
What do you want for your child? Well, I don't care what they do as long
As long as they're happy.
happy.
Yeah, and I don't say,
Wow.
I may say it if I've, you know, if I've fallen into some stupor of culture. But most typically, I won't even use that word because I know that I don't really want that for my kid, because that's impossible to want.
Yeah.
I want my kid to live her life, their authentic life.
Wow.
And if their life happens to be one where they are, you know, being ravaged by storms or tsunamis, or, you know, dealing with depression, well, I'm not going to make her feel like, oh, she's just wasted her whole life.
Damn, I failed.
Yeah, I failed. Yeah, your whole life is a cross. Cross it out.
Wow.
It's, do we live authentically or do we try to be happy? You know, and I want to be authentic. So if I'm crying all day, like say even today, if I cried all day, I won't look at it as a bad day. I look at it as an intelligently authentic day. I obviously had reason to cry, and I cried, and then I'm happy another day, and that's that day. And then another day is a dissatisfied kind of bored day, then that's that day. You know, I don't take any of it seriously, really. The happiness, I know, is very fleeting. And so is the sadness. So I'll cry, big deal. And so I'll be happy, big deal. None of it really touches the core of who I am, which is just presence, right? We are ultimately just beings who are here. We've put all this pressure on ourselves.
Volume, please.
To be successful. And then to go to this kind of college, and then to have this kind of job, and look this certain way. And we don't accept ourselves, and we loathe ourselves, really, and then we loathe our lives, and we compare ourselves to other yardsticks, and we are miserable. And so the only antidote is radical acceptance. You know, Tara Brach has this beautiful book called Radical Acceptance. That's the only answer, is radical authenticity, radical acceptance,
radical
honesty, and radically not giving two F's about anything else.
Mr. Tiller, you're muted.
Sorry about that. Right. So I shared that video to kind of open the wicket to just encourage you that as parents, I know sometimes we may feel like we're failing because we seems as if we can't give our children all that we think we need to give them. One of the drivers for most of us is that we all want to give our children what we never had, per se. And sometimes that may not be the best thing for them. And one of the things that we have to recognize sometimes as parents, that it's not the amount of money that you spend, it's not the amount of faith that you can save in terms of how you look to others, in terms of appearance. It's really what are the core values, what are the core things that you can deposit in terms of your time and effort to help your child to become their best. And that may be something that oftentimes may not be what is your ideal or what you think is the best thing. So your child may not be the quote unquote brightest in the class and may not be doing on reading as well as others are, but you can't use that as a measuring stick to say, my child is going to come to nothing, my child is dunce, my child is this, my child is that. It's really just to say, an indicator to say to you, my child may not be able to do all of this, but guess what? I'm going to help my child and work with my child to become their best. And so sometimes we have to take off some of the pressure off ourselves, and also to some of the pressure that we place on our children so that they can achieve their best. One of the things that I've learned, and any coach who coaches very well will tell you this, that you run your best race as a sprinter, you run your best race when you are relaxed, not when you're tense, not when you're trying hard to make it, but when you are relaxed. So what it says is that we have to come to a place where not that we stop trying, but we recognize that there are things that we can control and there are things that we can't control. But in terms of the direction and the outcomes, that sometimes does not belongs to us. But what belongs to us is our ability to encourage, to keep encourage and encouraging our child, and also to give them the opportunity to give it their best shot. All right. So yes, we know we may have to do some work and we may need to help them to work through some of their challenges. And we also do have to work through our own challenges. But as parents, we just have to sometimes also be patient, because the results won't come overnight. And sometimes it might not be sudden as we desire it to be. So we just have to sometimes just be patient and just work with it. All right. And work with our children. We have to work with what we have and make the best of what we have. So I just use those opening remarks just to encourage you as parents that you are not worse than anybody else. Doesn't matter what is happening and whatever challenges that there are, just be patient and work through the challenges. And I believe too, as we work together, we can achieve even much more. So just to encourage you and just to continue to keep the faith. And as I said, just be patient. All right. Be patient with the children, be patient with yourself. Just be patient. The battle is not yours, it's the Lord's. And you have to just be patient and allow sometimes God to lead the process and to walk you through some of those spaces and places where you need to walk. All right, so it's a journey and we can make the best of it. All right, so as we journey together further, we're going to have the confirmation of the minutes. Madam Secretary, are you available to read the minutes?
I'm here, but I'm on the road, so bear with me, please.
Okay, no problem. Okay.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, Madam Secretary Tiffany.
All right, so the last meeting of the Jamaica House Basic School was held on September 29, 2020. The meeting was called to order by Mr. Taylor. The welcome was done and the minutes were read. The action items were then discussed. These were the parking lot. Well, the issue with the parking lot. The commendation was made to parents who participated in the graduation, as well as those who participated in the reading competition. Plans for the new school year. This included K3C, who has a project going for Miss Campbell's class. The beautification project is coming up. Fundraisers to be announced at a later date. Meeting with the class reps was done. Ms. Campbell, our VP, gave an update on the car park and other areas, such as the beautification project. She also highlighted that there's a TV venture for K3 and also noted that suggestions are welcome and feedback for the classroom. So if you have any feedback or any suggestions, feel free to share them. Mr. Meikle interjected with a suggestion regarding the TVs, that his place of employment has a discount with an appliance store and they were gonna try and see if they could get the TVs at a discounted cost. The floor was then open for parents to make comments or raise any issues or concerns. Miss Campbell reminded the parents to direct all their messages regarding their children to the teacher and not in the classroom. Mr. Walters, a tennis coach, oh no, scrap that part. Oh yeah, Mr. Walters, a tennis coach, raised a question about sleeping policemen and pedestrian crossings, but that would be discussed later on. The principal's remark. Mrs. Burnett welcomed everyone to the first PTA meeting of the year of the school year 2022 to 2023. She also thanked those who have been compliant with parking in the car park. She also highlighted that some parents are still not parking inside, and that if they continue to park on the outside or block the road, we will have to be parking by the Canadian Embassy and have to walk all the way up to the school. So to prevent this, she urged parents to comply. Mrs. Burnett also apologized to the K1 children who have not received their PE gear and stated that until then, they are free to wear their uniform on a Friday. On October 13, we will have our heritage concert at school. It will be in the morning and parents may join in if they wish to do so. The attire for our heritage concert will be bandana and African outfits. No Jamaican colors, as there will be a day specific just for Jamaican colors. Our photo shoot will be on October the 26th and it is for one day only. Payments has to be made online. Our movie day will be on November 25th at the Sovereign Palace Cineplex, and further details will be provided at a later date. Assessments will be done between December the 5th and December the 10th. She also highlighted that there will be donation to our children's home in December, and parents are urged to supply the children with toiletries for the donations. She also stated that clothes can be donated as long as they're in good order. The carol service will be in December, and the attire would be females, white dress, boys, black pants, white shirt, and a red bow tie. And that will mark the end of the school term. Extracurricular activities have started, and she highlighted that some of them are really scanty. Namely football and karate. She encouraged parents to get their children involved. She also highlighted that chess has increased and there are chess sets available for purchase at school. Just a minute, please. She also highlighted that for persons who are doing swimming, she's encouraging the parents to provide slippers for them. Mrs. Burnett highlighted that no child should be coming inside the school sleeping, meaning parents should wake the child before taking them inside. She also highlighted that during this time, hand, foot, and mouth disease is normally going around, and she encouraged parents to check their children regularly. And if you notice any signs or symptoms, please to keep the children at home. If parents come in early for the children before school has ended, parents are supposed to complete the form and have it signed by the teacher or the principal. No child should be removed from school without the form being signed. Also, if a driver is being sent for the child, the driver would need to sign the form. A reminder was She reminded us that on Thursdays, classes end at 12 and parents should ensure that they pick up the children on time. It was noted also that for some persons in K1, they're still not potty trained, and she encouraged parents to continue working with them. Children's hairstyle was also highlighted, noting that the boys' hair should be kept low and girls should not be wearing braids or beads as they are dangerous. It can be dangerous. It was also noted that children are coming to school with runny noses. This is unacceptable. She noted that a bit of painting was done over the weekend and that other areas will be painted in the future. A question was posed by a parent asking if fruits could be offered instead of popsicles on a Friday. In response, it was noted that Fruit Day is on a Wednesday, but it is a matter that can be taken for consideration. A parent also asked a question with regards to the menu that's being sent out. He's asking if parents can be notified if there are any changes done to the menu. Highlighting that he's concerned that if the menu is changed, he would not want something on the menu that his child is allergic to. Mrs. Burnett interjected, stating that on the forms, the registration forms, there is a part on it that asks for anything that the child is allergic to, and parents are supposed to complete that section so that it can be noted at the school. It was also suggested that, it was a question if the teachers are notified when the menu has been changed and if it's possible for the teachers to notify the parents via the group chat or the class chat. Mr. Walters, a tennis coach, he did a short presentation introducing lawn tennis and badminton for persons who are interested, stating that it is very good for students at this age for hand-eye coordination. He stated that the cost will be $800 per person. However, depending on the amount of persons interested, the price may be reduced. There was no set date, as he stated that he was very flexible and willing to work with whatever these parents are able to send the children out. There was no decision as to where these lessons will be done, but it's still open for discussion. Further information regarding the tennis and the badminton lessons will be provided at a later date. The meeting was adjourned by Ms. Luther and seconded by Ms. Crawford. Are there any corrections to the meeting? Hello?
Yes, we're hearing you, Tiffany. Are there anyone wants to add anything to the meeting or based on what you've heard?
I don't know if it may have been just an error in reading, but when you were stating the date the meeting was held, you said 2000 instead of 2022. So I don't know if it's just you reading it wrong or it's there wrong.
2022, apologies.
Yeah, the other thing that I noticed was when you mentioned the tennis coach, when he asked the question about the sleeping police thing, I think someone did respond to him to say because it's a private road and the GG and whatever, they can't put the sleeping police on that road because it's an emergency exit for them.
Okay.
Right, that's what we did. Yeah, that's what we did. So we weren't able to put it there.
Good evening, everyone. Regarding the painting, it wasn't just a part, it was the weekending, it's the outer walls, all the class, the school in itself, the outer perimeters were painted. So it's just that the interior of the classrooms were not, but the outside were.
Okay.
Okay, all right. If there be no more corrections, could we move to have the minutes confirmed?
I beg for the confirmation of the minutes, Melissa Davis.
Thank you so much, Melissa. And seconded by?
David Ellis.
Okay, David.
Hi, good evening. Not sure if it was mentioned or maybe I just didn't hear, but I think we also elected the class reps.
Right.
I didn't hear any mention of it in a minute.
Right.
Done during the meeting.
But we didn't actually do the election in the meeting. They were actually previously selected.
Okay, noted.
Can I have the name of the person who seconded the minutes, please?
David Ellis.
David Ellis.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much, Tiffany. Awesome. Okay, so we move now. So we have completed our second point in the meeting. So we are now at follow-up or the action items. So the car park, as you know, is still not quite complete. I must be thankful for Mr. Clooney. He has volunteered, so we have one volunteer for the committee to work with us to actually complete the project. So we want to encourage other parents who can assist to volunteer in the upcoming weeks so that we can get the project underway. Okay. So in terms of follow-up in terms of other items, I know we have some outstanding awards to be picked up by parents. So I'm going to ask parents who know themselves, please be aware that tomorrow afternoon at school, you should be able to pick up your awards when you pick up your child, okay? As far as fundraisers are concerned, we still have not decided on a particular fundraiser. I'm going to suggest two to the floor, and I'm hoping that I'm hoping that we can hopefully agree on some of them or agree on at least one of them. Two that comes to mind is a block drive, and the second would also be a fun day. So it's more like a little fun day with kids with rides and so on for children. So let me know which of these finds favor in your ear or to your thoughts so that we can start putting together to actually begin to get one of these in motion, hopefully before the year is end. If we're going to have the fun day, it will have to be sometime in December and hopefully early December before school closes. So if that's the case, we have maybe just about, say, 6 weeks lead time to do so in terms of the planning. So we'd have to get about it just now. So if there's any other ideas in terms of fundraisers, please let us know. We'd be very happy to take them on board and try to deliberate on them and have them, hopefully have one or two in action in short order. So parents, do you find what I've suggested in good grace? So that's a fun day, and second, a block drive. We could even do a lunch drive, like a takeaway lunch, if you desire to. Parents, any
Mr. Taylor, in the chat, they are suggesting one day.
fun day, right? So I see 3 votes for fun day so far. So I
One
have
person
three,
saying both.
see,
So
one
it can
person
be a
saying
fun day with a lunch drive, so you can tie it together.
okay. A fun day and lunch. Okay. All right. So we should be able to get that going. Fantastic. All right. Thank you for that. Are there any objections to the fun day slash maybe lunch suggestion? Silence mean consent, going once, going twice. So we're going to begin to pursue. So I'm going to ask the parents for the class reps to canvas to see how best we can start planning and working towards that. So that is something that we'll actually take on board. All right, thank you so much, parents, for your feedback on this. I really appreciate it. For commendations are in order for the work day that was for the parents who came out to support the work day that was done for K3C. The classroom is in spanking brand new sparkling condition, white as heaven, white as snow. And we also note that
Commendation to the peer.
the few parents who came out, we want for those who donated in terms of paints and materials, we really want to say a big thank you. And for the persons who came out to actually labor, we really want to say a big thank you. Your labor of love was extremely well appreciated. And you did a fantastic job. And given the time and given all of the efforts, and I know that many of you were quite busy and had other constraints, but you actually took the time out to give your support. We must say that we appreciate it very much. And so thank you, a big thank you. I don't want to be calling out any names at this point, but just to say that we note your labor of love, and it will be made mention at a later date, specifically for the persons who participate too. So thank you again, parents. It was a I would say, fairly well supported efforts. And we want to give you thanks again. And we want to give God thanks for you that you actually made the choice to do it. All right, so thank you for that. Outside of that, we know that there has been some listing that were circulated with regards to some items of need for some of the classrooms in terms of donations that would help to enhance the activities of the class in terms of delivering the curriculum. Some may be equipment, some may be items, whatever items they are on those lists. I know like for some of the K3s, there is the televisions that we said that we are working at. So some parents would have been asked to provide some level of support for that. We are encouraging you to make those donations or make good on those donations as quickly as possible so that we can get those televisions in as soon as possible. Outside of that, the other items on the lists that I've seen so far, as much as possible, if we can seek donations from companies or persons that we know, it is well and would be well appreciated. I know that one or two classes have embarked on providing water for some of their classes. We do welcome those initiatives and do just encourage us to continue to seek to see how best we can actually add some positive energy to the space, just to make sure that the school, one, looks good, and also to that our students are well taken care of, both from the mental and the environmental and the spiritual and all of the alleys that we know they need in order to develop well. So thank you again and in advance for those who will be contributing, and for some of the parents who are wavering and wondering if they should, please do. Okay, it's important that you do, and it is well appreciated if you do so. Okay, so all your support, and you may say it's not much or what, it doesn't matter. It is important. So if it is that you can do something, if you know a company whatever, or you see someone with something that you think would be of service to the school, please do highlight it and let us jump on it to see if we can get some mileage or leverage from some of those donations or assistance that you can leverage for the school. So again, parents, I encourage you to continue to keep looking for ways to improve on the school and to help to build the school to what we know it ought to be. And given where we are doing our best with what we have. And we also too want to thank you for your continued patience in just bearing and working to make sure that we get the best as in the partnership to get the best out of our young charges. Okay, so thank you again. As far as the items on the discussion in terms of the last meeting, I'm quite sure that most of us are aware that there is a special event that Ms. Burnett will talk a little bit about that is upcoming. I know for the K3s, you'll be having next Thursday, you'll be having your tea party. So bear that in mind and get your little ones ready for that. Is there anything else that we need to mention in regards to Coach Walters? I have one parent who had indicated that they are interested in the tennis lessons. I'm going to ask persons who are interested. So once you are interested, please let your class rep know so we can collate those persons together, so we can contact Coach Walters to say, yes, we have a group of say 5 or 10 interested persons, and then we can discuss further whether it's going to be badminton or whether it's going to be tennis lessons, and we can start negotiating in terms of working out an arrangement. All right, so please let us know. If you can indicate maybe before the end of this week, which is by tomorrow, that would be beneficial for us and be very helpful. Outside of that, I'm not quite sure if there are any other items that we spoke about that would need to follow up. But tonight in our meeting, we have a special guest in our meeting, and I'm hoping she's here already. So we have a guest presenter from BPM Financials, and they're going to talk a little bit about investment options that is available to us as parents. And we're going to also, moving forward, invite other persons to come in and to share with us. And so parents, if you know someone or you are part of a company and you believe that there's something that's beneficial that can be shared with the group, please do so. We really appreciate it. So without further ado, I'm just going to ask our guest from BPM Finance to take the floor and start her presentation. Hello. Hello. Anyone here? From
Grace?
Grace here.
Sorry, I'm muted, but I'm here. Hello?
Okay.
I'm not sure.
We are hearing you. We are hearing you, Grace McLean. We are hearing you.
Okay. No, I didn't realize you were addressing me. I was listening, but I didn't hear my name. Are you ready for me now?
Yes, I'm ready for you. Please go ahead.
Okay, I didn't hear it at all. All right, I'm going to share my screen. Oh, can you enable me, please?
Mr. Taylor, can you stop sharing, please?
Okay, one moment. Right. Okay, Grace, the floor is yours.
All right. So good evening, everyone. All right, I'm gonna share my screen now. Okay, is everybody able to see the screen, or I need to make it bigger?
We're seeing you. If you could make it bigger, that would be fantastic.
All right, is that much better?
A little better, yes.
All right, so good evening, everyone, and we are talking about the key to wealth. We are looking at financial literacy this evening and the importance of investing. So on your screen, you're seeing the key to wealth, and I'm Grace McLean. I'm a financial advisor and retirement specialist at BPM Financial Limited. And BPM has been around for 29 years, and we do investments, pensions, and loans. Now, the key to wealth is summed up in the scripture that you're seeing on your screen. Ecclesiastes 7 verse 12, wisdom is a shelter, money is a shelter, but the advantage of knowledge is this: wisdom preserves those who have it. So at BPM Financial Limited, we do believe that many of the principles for creating wealth and having sustained wealth or financial freedom, they're all summed up in the Bible, right? So it is saying that money is important because it provides a shelter. That's what that scripture is saying. It is also saying wisdom is important because it provides a shelter. But the difference between wisdom and money is that wisdom preserves you. Money cannot preserve us. And so it's key that we understand that we need wisdom in order to manage our money. So our priority should be gaining wisdom so you can invest your money wisely. And that's what BPM is about. You know, financial literacy, giving you nuggets so that we learn how to plan for the future and preserve the money that we have. Because if you lose your money tomorrow morning, if you lose all that you have, all your possessions, you're gonna need wisdom to pick up back again and to rebuild again, to start all over again. So wisdom will preserve you. So that's where we are starting. We want you to remember that. Money is important, but wisdom will preserve you for you to keep the money. All right. Now, investing. What we're going to cover quickly today, because you have had a long day and you have given me a short time, we're going to look at understanding inflation, how inflation impacts your life, and how to beat inflation. So inflation is simply when you have too much money chasing too few goods. Whenever there's scarcity in the economy, prices go up. So if you go to the market and oranges are scarce, then the price of the oranges become high, and you're saying that, you know, the prices are too high, you can't afford it, right? So inflation is a rate at which prices increase in an economy. Currently, our inflation rate is over 8% per year. The Bank of Jamaica wants to keep inflation, or want to get inflation to 6%, right? Which is the rate at which the prices are increasing in the economy. They want to get it at 6% so that prices don't get out of control, and then it becomes harder for the economy to grow, and it becomes more expensive for us to live. All right? So how do we measure inflation? In 2004, if you had 1,000 Jamaican dollars, you could buy 12 loaves of bread. How many loaves of bread can you buy with 1,000 Jamaican dollars today? What we are demonstrating is that inflation eats away the purchasing power of your money. So the value of your money gets less and less over the years, so it's buying less and less. All right? So it's very important that we understand inflation and how it impacts our money. Okay, so there are two ways in which you earn money. Right? You work for it and your money working for you. I would want to add a third way is staying out of debt. Because if you stay out of debt, then you have more money to invest. So you have more money working for you. So, but the key though is that we need to have our money working for us. And one way is someone pay you to work for them. It means you are working for money. The other way is your money working for you. And how your money work for you? You buy when you invest in bonds, when you invest in stocks, when you buy assets that are increasing in value. So you may have a car and you may say the car is your asset, but is the car increasing in value or is it losing value? The car is losing value from the moment you purchase it and leave the car mart. It start losing value. So it's an asset that is decreasing in value. You can look at it that way. So what we want you to do is to ensure that we have assets that are increasing in value. All right. So yes, you can have your vehicle, you can have your home, right? And your home increase in value, right? Because real estate, and that's another way your money working for you, is that if you rent out your home or you sublet a room or you have properties that you lease or you rent, that's income. And real estate increase in value over time. So that's how your money can work for you. All right. Now, what we are saying to you is that we need to take control of our money. And if we take control of our money, we'll have less stress. We are able to achieve the goals that we set out to do. We have greater control. We understand where our money goes, and we understand what to spend our money on. All right. Now, on the screen, we are describing 4 types of money managers. You can either be a planner, which means you control your financial affairs, or you're a struggler, means you have a difficult time keeping your head above the financial waters, or you are impulsive. You seek immediate gratification today, and you say, well, tomorrow will take care of itself. I'm only concerned about living for today. I don't know about tomorrow, right? So you have persons who say that. But when tomorrow comes, you're gonna need to live for tomorrow too. But you have to plan for tomorrow, all right? Or you can be a denier. You deny the importance of making a budget. But all of us should desire to be planners where we control our financial affairs. So I'm sure every single one of us can identify ourselves on the chart, whether we are a planner, whether we are a struggler, we're struggling to keep our heads above the financial waters, whether we are impulsive, we just want to spend, or whether we are denying the importance of a budget, we are deniers. We say we don't need to plan, all right? So what we need to do, we need to become planners. Now, when you get your salary, you need to pay yourself first, pay yourself like a bill. When you pay yourself first, what it means is that you're paying your future self, right? You're putting aside money now so that it can have more value for you later on in life. And in paying yourself like a bill, just as how you pay your light bill, your water bill, your mortgage, your rent, whatever the bills are, when you get your salary, put aside what you need to save or invest first. Then you budget to spend from what's left. That's how you pay yourself first, like a bill. Because if we don't pay ourselves first, what will happen? We spend first, and then at the end of the day, you realize that there's not much left to save or invest, or there's nothing left to save or invest. And some months you save and some months you don't save, right? But if you pay yourself first, you will never forget to put aside something for the future. And so we're saying consistency is key. So you need to have good money habits. Small sums add up. And I'm gonna show you later on how small sums add up. Use time to your advantage. Time that is gone is lost. What you have to do is move on. Don't be afraid to invest. Remember, inflation is like chichi. It eats away your money, all right? Now on your screen, we are looking at compound interest. And we're going to tell you the benefits of compound interest. So we cover inflation already and show you that it will eat away your money. In order to grow your money, you need to invest your money where you're earning compound interest on it. So we're going to look at risk versus return. Compound interest helps you to build wealth more quickly, right? Compound interest is when you earn interest on top of the interest that you earned last month. So you have your principal, you earn interest on it, and then the following month you earn interest on top of the interest, but interest on top of the principal. So your money grows faster, all right? Now, compound interest can work for you or it can work against you. It works for you when you invest. It works against you when you borrow. So when you borrow and when you have a credit card, if you don't manage your credit card well, what you will find happening is that because the credit card is a debt, right? It's a debt. So when you are paying the debt, you are paying most of the money to interest before your money goes to principal. All right? So when you miss payments or when you only keep paying the minimum balance, what will happen is that your debt is increasing and the interest rate on the debt is compounding. So compound interest is working against you. That's why you may get your credit card bill and you wonder how it reached so much and you never spend that amount of money. But because the interest is compounding every day, and when you check out the interest rate on your credit card, it's probably 35 or 40% per year. And you're not earning that on your investment, but you're accumulating that on your debt. So it's very important that we manage debt. Now, risk versus return. Risk is a possibility that you'll make a loss on your investment. Return is a profit that you get on your investment. The higher the risk that you take in investing, the greater the amount of money you will make. The lower the risk, the less money you will make. All right? Okay. Now, I don't know how many of you have a pension, but in Jamaica, research shows that near 20% of the working population has a pension plan, which means it's a problem for the country and it's a problem for the rest of us, because you who are paying your contributing to a pension, government may have to raise taxes to help those who don't have a pension when the time comes. And government is not able to give you enough money for a pension. So we all need to plan to make sure that we have a pension plan. At BPM Financial Limited, we have pension plans for those persons who don't have one, so you can contact us. But it's very important. What your pension does, it replaces your income when you retire. And it gives you a salary for life until you die. So when you stop working, your pension starts paying you. Remember, when you retire, your bills will keep coming, but your salary will stop coming. So if you don't plan to have a pension, then all that you'll have in retirement are bills and no salary to pay the bills. All right? So if you have a pension and your husband or your wife don't have a pension, then you're gonna have a problem, because it means that when you stop working, only one income will be coming into the household. All right? So at BPM, we specialize in retirement planning. So if you need advice, you can contact us. Now on your screen, you're looking at a projection of how many salary checks you have left. So if you are age 20, you have 540 paychecks left before you retire. Normal retirement age is 65. Early retirement is between age 55 and 64. But remember, you can be forced into retirement before time. If you get sick at any age and can't work again, you're forced into retirement. If you have an accident and you get crippled, can't work again, you're forced into retirement. So you can be at age 40 and doctor say you can't work again. Where is the pension gonna come from? That's why you need to start early to plan for retirement, because it can happen anytime. But the normal retirement is age 65. By that time, you'd have accumulated enough money based on compound interest. Now, if you're age 30, you only have 420 paychecks left to get. If you're age 40, you only have 300 more checks to go. And if you are age 50, only 180 paychecks left. So don't think you have a lot of time and say, oh, I don't need to plan for pension yet. I am young. I'm going to wait until 15 more years time. No. Check how many paychecks you have to go before you retire. Start planning now. There's no secret to success. There's only a system to success. So says Les Brown. And what I'm saying to you today is that you need to invest your money in a system that will increase your money over time. Wherever you have your investment, right? At BPM Financial Limited, we tell our clients that we have designed a system for long-term investment, that when you reach the 11th year of investing, you have created a money-making machine. The problem with many persons is that we want to get rich now. We want it to happen overnight, right? But anything happen overnight, you may lose it overnight, right? Again, you need wisdom to sustain your money, your wealth, all right? So you need to have a plan for retirement. Again, if you need retirement advice, you can contact me. All right, so because we don't have much time, I'll skip some of the slides. So many persons work 40 hours per week for 40 years and retire at 40% of what they used to earn. So in retirement, you're gonna have a problem. It is important for you to have streams of income in retirement. Research has showed that persons who have a pension plan and have investments otherwise, when they're in retirement, they are able to live comfortably. Some of them become wealthy by retirement or when they're in retirement, right? You don't want to be a struggler when you're retired, okay? So BPM is there, we can advise you, all right? So at BPM Financial Limited, we're saying you can invest in stocks. We can invest your US dollars in the global portfolio account, at least $1,000 US, and you can get started. And if you want to invest in US dollars, but it's Jamaican dollars you have, we'll convert it for you. All right. Some of the companies you can invest in: Amazon, Google, Facebook, YouTube. All right. Johnson & Johnson. Also, in terms of investing locally, we have managed funds. You can invest $100,000 and more for your children's education. Invest in Jamaican dollars or US or both, right? So that when they're ready for university, you have enough money for them. You can invest, what we do at BPM is manage funds, right? So it reduces your risk because it's not individual stocks, but a group of stocks. So you're able to invest this $100,000 in Seprod, Scotiabank, NCB, Grace Kennedy, about 15 different companies. How is that possible? Because we add your $100,000 to other clients' monies and we are able to buy shares at a cheaper price. And so you're able to benefit from earning profits from about 15 different companies in Jamaica and overseas. Seprod, right? Sagicor, Scotiabank, Guardian Life. Those are some of the companies you can invest in. All right. So we're going to skip here. So in the interest of time, what we're saying now is that you can invest, if you don't want to invest all your money in stocks, you can look at investing in what we call the balance fund, half in stocks, half in bonds. And what that means is that you're reducing your risk because not all your money is in stocks. Okay? So it's called a moderate risk account. On your screen again, I'm showing you a client who opened what we call the balance fund account She wants to invest long term, but she doesn't want to put all her money in stocks because it's too aggressive. The stock market is made up of losses and gains. I don't know what's happening here, why this is on the screen, but you'll hear me, so you'll know what I'm saying. So this client opened an account with us, 70,000 dollars. And over the years, she sent $7,500 to us by salary deduction. So those of you who don't say, I don't have $100,000, you can start small. And that's what she did. So over time, she invested $700,000 with us over 7 years, just by sending $7,500 every month. And by 2019, if you can see on your screen, she had $1.8 million in her account. So the $700,000 that she saved with us for 7 years multiplied into $1.8 million. I don't know what this is, why this is coming up on the screen.
Emma?
Just a minute,
Emma is
Miss
drawing.
McLean.
Yes.
Emma is drawing on the screen.
Emma, mommy, Emma is marking the screen.
What is happening?
A child is marking on the screen.
Oh, okay. All right. I didn't see this before. All right. So what I want to explain to you is we have what you call the rule of 72. And this wasn't there when I went through it. So that's what I'm saying. I don't know where that came from. All right. So
On the screen, it's not on your presentation.
oh, which screen? But I don't understand why it turns up on my presentation.
A child is marking the screen. I'll
Oh.
soon disable it.
All right, okay. But you can see it, and I'm reading what is there, so you shouldn't have a problem, all right? Okay, so what we're saying now is that $1.8 million per account multiplied into in 7 years. And all she had invested was $700,000 just by sending $7,500 every month to the balance fund. So this is what we're trying to say to you. When you invest long-term, you need to have some stocks in your portfolio. The stock market may decline. Like this year, it's not doing well, and it's the money is declining in your account, but it is made up of losses and gains, and losses multiply into gains. When you were going to school, you were taught that if you multiply minus by minus, it gives you a plus. The same thing happened in the stock market. So many times people panic when they see less money in their account and the share value drop, and they say, I'm coming out and making a loss, not realizing that if they stay in the account, the losses are going to multiply into pluses. But investing in the stock market needs time. The longer you invest in it, the more your money multiplies. And this is what this is about. So investing $7,500, and over 7 years, $700,000 became 1.8 million. All right. I'm gonna skip that one. Just wanted you to get that. All right. So what we're referring to is the law of accumulation. When you invest, keep adding to your account. No farmer plant one dege plant and say, okay, I'm not planting no more. I'm gonna plant this tree and I'm just gonna leave it. I'm gonna just plant this alone and not planting nothing else. He keeps sowing, he keeps planting more and more seeds, and he keeps planting different types of crops. Because if one crop not performing well, the other crop will be performing better, right? And even the Bible tells us to do that. Invest in 7 ventures or even 8. That's what it tells you to do, right? So you keep sowing. So keep adding to your account like the lady I just showed you about, who send that 7.5 every month. I have another example of the law of accumulation. So the law of accumulation says that everything you do gets you closer to your goal or it draws you away from it. It says that everything great or worthwhile in the human life is an accumulation of hundreds or thousands of tiny efforts and sacrifices that nobody ever sees or appreciate, right? So some effort that you're making, nobody knows see the little money where you put aside. They not see the sacrifice that you're making, right? They may not even appreciate it. But someday it will grow like a snowball going downhill, getting bigger and bigger as it picks up more and more snowflakes. That's how your money will multiply. That's the law of accumulation. All right? As you start small and then it gets bigger and bigger, just like that lady with the $7,500 reaching 1.8. I have another example. A lady who had just retired and she came to BPM recently. She said, when I checked her account, she's invested $50,000 in 2008. And she sent $1,000 every year, every month to BPM from her salary. She wasn't earning much, but $1,000. And when she got a salary increase, she increased it to $2,500. Sorry? And in 2020, even though the stock 2022, even though the stock market is declining, she had $900,000 in her account. And when I checked the total of those $1,000 and $2,500 that she sent, it came up to $440,000. So in a crisis of COVID, she told me her pension is $15,000 a month and she can't live off it. She needs $40,000 more every month in order to make ends meet. What she got, what we did for her, she pulled off $500,000 and invested in another account so that she can withdraw $40,000 every month while she leave the rest in the balance fund, part in stocks, part in bonds to provide income in the future. What if she wasn't sending that $1,000 every month for 14 years? Where would she get income from to make up her pension in retirement? And this is what I'm saying to you. It's not the amount of money you earn, is what you save. And the small amounts accumulate. So let the law of accumulation work for you. The next law I want to work for you is the rule of 72. I want you to write down this rule or Google it when you are through. The rule of 72 tells you how long your money takes to double. So if you have 10,000 Jamaican dollars at the bank and you're earning 1% on it per year, you divide 72 by 1. The answer is 72. It means that your $10,000 earning 1% at the bank will take 72 years before you get $20,000. 72 years. This is why you need to understand when you're investing, how much interest you're earning on your money, what's the average return you're likely to earn on your long-term money, and divide that by 72 to figure out how long your money is going to take to double, right? That is why you cannot get rich keeping your money in a savings account. And you can't get rich by having the highest salary in Jamaica. Is what you do with the salary when you get it, right? So that's what is key. Okay, now let's skip here. All right, so when you have earned your money and your money has worked for you, you can do like what Warren Buffett says. You don't have to give away 90% of your wealth, but he has decided to give away 99% of his wealth before he dies. No, he started investing at age 12, $250 in the stock market. And he's in his 90s now, and he has not left the stock market. That's where he created his wealth. And what he does is sell some of his shares from time to time and buy up businesses and properties, right? To make more money for him. And he became one of the richest men in the world. Also on your screen, another example of somebody who wasn't wealthy. She was a legal secretary. Her name is Sylvia Bloom. You can Google her. It's a true story. She started investing when she was working at a law firm as a legal secretary. The lawyers would ask her to call the brokerage houses and buy shares on their behalf. So they'll tell her how much money to spend, how much shares they were buying, and she would buy the shares for them. But she was wise. She wasn't a lawyer. She not earn a big salary. But you see, everything that she see them invest in, she buy a little of it too. So if them buy shares in Johnson and Johnson, but she take fair little money and she buy a little share. So they may be buying 2,000 shares, but she can only afford to buy 5. She buy her 5. When she died, that's when her family knew that she was a millionaire. She didn't flaunt, she was rich. Over time, she spent 70 years working as a legal secretary, right? So over time, she became wealthy, but she lived a modest life. Nobody, she didn't go buy the biggest car. She never gonna live in the biggest house. She lived comfortably. And when she died, that's when her family members knew that she was a millionaire. She made a will and she left money for her family members. She left money for her friends. She left money for the university that she used to attend. And she left money for the high school that she used to go. Those monies are in the stock market. So what is happening is that every year, scholarships are provided for the university students at her university that she attended and the high school that she attended, right? She died at age 96 in 2018. You can research her, right? This is how your money can multiply. And she used the wisdom to understand that she don't have to flaunt her riches. She just wanted to live comfortably and the money multiply far more than she could have imagined. So she was able to share her wealth. And I want to say to you all quickly that there are more persons who are dead that are making more money than who are alive, because they have set up their investments, like this lady, Sylvia Bloom, to provide income for people who are alive from beyond the grave, right? From beyond the grave, all right? So finally, what I want to say is you want your money to hang out with 2 best friends, time and compound interest. Those things are key. We don't understand the value of time. The Father give us time, 24 hours in the day. None of us not getting no more time than the other in terms of the hours in the day, right? If not give one of us 30 hours in a day and 24 in the next. Everybody get the same hours in the day. Is what we do with the time. So time and compound interest will multiply your money to create wealth or to create financial freedom. All right, so I come to the end of my presentation. I can be contacted at the number on your screen, 876-926-0849. My cell number is 876-550-3788, and I'm also on WhatsApp. My email address, gmclean@bpmfinancial.com. And you can contact us at bpminfo@bpmfinancial.com. Go to our website, bpmfinancial.com. And we are on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. All right?
McLean,
Go ahead.
very interested to probably speak to you, but the speed at which you're reading off those other numbers.
I'm gonna put it in the chat.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Because I know that, you know, you're here long in terms of the meeting and the time, but we can continue afterwards and we can do one-on-one, or, you know, just reach out to me and we can do presentations like this for you, for your family, your church, where you work, right? So you can reach out to us. When you have an account at BPM, we give you our cell number, so you stay in touch with us. We are just an email address away, or a cell call, or WhatsApp message. Do you have any questions at all? Or comments? Anybody have any questions?
Requesting that you recap your contact information, please, if possible.
Yes, what I'm gonna do for you is, you didn't record it. It's recorded?
We're gonna put it in the chat. Ms.
Alright.
McLean, just put it in the chat so that person can connect with
Right,
you.
I'm putting my cell number.
Right.
Okay. Oh, that's the wrong number. I'm sorry. Scrap that for me. It's 876-550-3788. Also, wait, I'm gonna send you an email, a flyer with, you know, a summary of what I said, and my cell number, etc. afterwards.
Right.
My email address. My email is gmclean. Also, I'm gonna invite you all to, I write for the Sunday Observer every Sunday, so you can read my articles as well, online or in the paper.
Okay. Okay. Thank you much, Ms. McLean.
And thank you very much. So I write financial articles, just to clarify. All right. So you can follow in terms of getting additional information. Thank you for having me.
So, Ms. McLean, thank you so much for coming and sharing with us. We really appreciate your presentation. Just to recap some key points that you made concerning Ecclesiastes 7, that we have to use wisdom in terms of managing our finances as a shelter. You spoke to the different investment personalities, the planner, the struggler, the denier, and the impulsive. You encourage us to pay ourselves first. You spoke to the whole idea of risk versus reward, that we have to risk, and we also will need to make the sacrifice in order to get the reward. And you spoke of the fact that only 20% of the population has a pension plan. You also spoke to the rule of 72.
Yes.
The law of accumulation.
Oh my.
You also spoke about we all have the same amount of time, and you also talked about the whole power of compound interest. So this we thank you for, and we do pray that our membership will continue to work some of these principles, and definitely will reach out to you further after the meeting. Okay, thank you again for coming.
And thank you. Just one other thing, I'm also asking persons to listen, Love 101, every Thursday I'm on at 8:15 a.m. Dollars and cents. Again, a continuation in terms of if you want more information, you listen to that. We also have a program on RJ Hotline, 11:45 every Thursday. Same financial information again, every week. And we are also on Edge FM, and we are also on Mellow FM every Wednesday at 8:15 a.m. So you can listen and get additional financial information. So thank you again, and all the best to you all.
Okay, parents, as we continue the meeting, you're seeing my screen. So I'm going to encourage persons to utilize the PTA register, not just to place it in the chat, so we can capture your attendance and have an attendance record. So please make sure you so we have 90 persons in the room, and so far we only have I have 19 responses. So I'm going to ask persons to put their information in so that we can have your details. Okay, thank you so much. So in the chat is a link to the particular page for the register. So just make your response there as soon as possible. Thank you very much. Okay, to continue the meeting and to continue our agenda, we'll now ask our dear principal, Miss Burnett, to take the floor and to do her principal's report. Miss Burnett, the floor is yours.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I really enjoyed that presentation from Mrs. McLean. And the truth is, as my mother always says, not what you earn, but what you save. So if we try to save a little each time, each month, we'll be surprised to see how much we have at the end of the day. Thank you, Mrs. McLean. Let me just say welcome again to our PTA president, our parents, and just about everyone who is in the meeting. I will be very short. Our photo shoot went well yesterday. The persons took part, and we will inform you as soon as the products are ready. Our students, Ms. Crawford, you want to put up that, share that screen. They went to the fire competition, the fire brigade competition today, and they did well. They came third. Now we're accustomed to first place, but you say you win some and you lose some. So thanks to the students and to the teacher, Mrs. Brown, who worked along with them, and they got third place. So we are grateful for that, and we know that they are going to come back even stronger next term, next year rather. Our movie day is still on for the 26th. So parents, you need to start putting away your little much. The cost would be $3,000, and that would cover their admission to the theater, refreshment, and also transportation cost. So that's $3,000 per child. A number of our children has fallen ill. I did say that at the last meeting that we should be very vigilant. And so we have a number of them who have fallen ill, some for hand, foot, and mouth, and some for other illnesses, childhood illnesses that has been going around. And we have heard it on the news that so many things are going around. So just be vigilant, and as soon as they become ill, please to keep them at home. We also ask that once they are out ill, that when they are returning to school, we need something from the doctor to say, yes, this child is fit and ready for school. If that is not done, then we're going to ask you to keep the child until you have provided us with same. The thing is, we can't take the risk. I know sometimes you may say, boy, you did your little home remedy and thing. But the thing is, we don't know what would have happened to the child. So we're asking that you provide us with a letter from the doctor to say yes. The same thing applies for our teachers or other members of staff. When they are out, we ask that they do the same. All right, so we read the badminton. I got some information from Mr. Walters. He's charging $900 per student. If we have, say, 10 children, that's for the badminton. And for tennis, it will be $1,200 per child if we have 7 children. And he is also offering a discount instead of the $900 at $800 if he's contracted for 2 hours. So please, if you are interested, you can, as Mr. Taylor suggested, send the information to your class rep, and then we could have the information transferred to him, and then we will see how soon that can start. There are still 1 or 2 persons who have a little outstanding, you know, that little thing there. So I'm going to ask that we did send out some letters this week, giving a deadline for the 31st for payment to be made. So if you're one of those persons who got one of those love letters, I am expecting that you will do what is necessary on or before the 31st, which is Monday. Ms. Crawford, could you share can you share the team members who went to the fire competition today, please? Yes, so we just want to congratulate our quiz team, and some of you will be seeing your little angels up there. And some of them, especially two of our boys, they did exceptionally well. And they must be commended. So I just want to say thanks to the team and to Mrs. Gordon for working with them. And I know we will do even better come next year. I thank you, Miss Crawford, for sharing. We do have some new members of staff. I'm not sure how many are on, but if you're on, I'm going to ask you to just open your cameras. I think we have Miss Sherrington. She's in K2. K2. We have two persons from Art Trust, NTA, who are there. One is working with Miss Sherrington in K2. Miss Sherrington. Okay, I am seeing her up top. Okay, here's Miss Sherrington. Okay. So with Miss Sherrington, we have Mrs. Sherrington, sorry. And we have another person from Art working with her. She's Miss Livingston. We also have the other art person. She is with Mrs. Pottinger in K1, and her name is Miss Campbell. One new teacher, I know she has a class. She's attended college, so she's out, and she works with Mrs. Smalling. So she's not on. I'm not seeing her. We also have one working with Miss Crawford, and she is not on either. She was not well, so I think she's out. And we have another one who is working with Mrs. Barkley. Her name is Miss Billings rather. So just want to say welcome to the Jamaica House family, and I'm sure that our parents, guardians will give you support 100%, and we hope that you will enjoy your stay with us. And for persons who might have known, Miss Roberts has left us over time, so we say thanks to Miss Roberts and farewell as she moves on. Is there anything that I'm missing, teachers? Okay, another thing, we still have some children who are not potty trained. And I'm going to ask that parents really work with their child. It is not one of those pleasant things to be clean. You have some of them who have accidents periodically, but for some it is an everyday occurrence, and it means therefore that the child is definitely not potty trained. So we're going to ask that even when you have them on the weekend, you try and don't put on the Pampers on them, please. Don't put Pampers on them, because we are at school trying to give them the bathroom break, but when you get them back at home and then you put on Pampers on them or put on pull-ups, it makes the job more difficult for us. So I'm going to ask that you try and work with us as best as possible so that they are fully potty trained. Otherwise, we're going to have an issue there, and you might be asked to keep the child at home. All right. Okay, Miss Staple is indicating that she's here. Miss Staple, could you put your camera on so the parents can see you? She works with Mrs. Smalling in the K1 area, K1 class. All right, Miss. I'm not seeing you, Miss. I'm seeing your hand waving.
Miss, it's very dark. I'm not. Nobody can see me.
Okay, you can see her hand there waving. All right, Miss Staple, thanks. Is there any issues or concerns? Any issues or concerns?
Was a raised hand, I miss one person clarification in the chat. If it was $6,000 for movie day.
6,000. No, 3,000, I said.
Okay, so I think Natasha got it wrong. And the other question was for the Covington, if it was $1,200 per child or $12,000. Reiterate what you said about that.
1,200 per child for the tennis and $900 for badminton. Okay, all right. I'm glad you are corrected now, Miss Williams. Any other concern? Is this? Regarding parking, there's a little, I see a little improvement in the parking, but we still have one or two who are still not going where they are supposed to go.
All right, good evening, Mrs. Burnett and fellow parents and teachers. So the question was, if you had mentioned if the child is not well, they would have to come with a doctor's note to say that they're well. How many days will they have to be out for them to bring?
All right,
like
the thing
is,
is,
I know it's a touchy situation because you may have a child who say not well today, maybe they ate something bad and they're good again tomorrow.
no, we're not talking that. We're not talking like that. So you have children, because what happened now, you have the hand, foot, and mouth going around. By the doctor, they should be out for at least 10 days. That's what they are suggesting, right? Because it's sketchy. For some, we don't know what it is, but they have rash, they have fever, and they're out 2, 3 days, 4 days. We can't just take back a child like that, not knowing what is the situation with the child.
Right, thanks for that clarity.
You're welcome.
Mr. Ellis' hand is up, or maybe it's his wife.
Thank you very much. Ms. Burnett,
Yes, sir.
just the question I had asked regarding, because the typo is not 12,000. What I wanted to find out is it $1,200 per
class
student overall,
yes,
or
per class.
$1,200 per class?
1,000. No, it's per student. That's what it says.
Yeah, man, I know it's per
child.
student. What is it per session?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Fine.
That's what I got from him. Any other questions?
If Mr. Clooney is on, he wanted to say something earlier. Mr. Clooney.
So parents, please remember our concert, our Christmas concert coming up in December, and the items, and also, for next month PTA, which Mr. Taylor alluded to, it will be a face-to-face meeting. So please don't ask us for the link and this. It is a face-to-face, and it's parent month, and we like to celebrate our parents in style. So we ask that you be out early, and it will start a little earlier. It will start at 5:30. All right, because we'll be having visitors, and so we want them to do what they have to do and get home in a timely manner, because our visitors, some of them will be going very far. So we want you to come out at 5:30. So please take your lunchtime late so you can all get there on time, so we can start on time, end on time, and everybody will reach home in a timely manner. So please make it a date that the next PTA will be face-to-face at school. And it is parent month. And so we are expecting all our parents to be out. Thank you. All right, make sure you sign complete the registration form before you leave. It is very important, parents. All right, we'll have something more to say probably next month, and it will be not for the new parents who started this term, but for the returning parents. So please, we will have something to talk about. You might not like it, but given the financial constraint, we have to go there. All right, so just brace yourself for that. All right, Mr. Taylor, over to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Burnett. To complete our agenda for the evening, let me see where we are currently on the agenda. So we have done, okay, so any other business, any matters that parents would like to raise, any suggestions or ideas that they'd like to bring to the table to the other parents at this point? Okay, going once.
Good evening.
Okay.
I have a question for Mrs. Burnett concerning Spanish and computer class. When will they resume?
Well, currently we are working with the Spanish, because the teachers are doing what they can in the Spanish book. In terms of computer class, that is still on hold for now, because the computers are basically old. We probably need a new set of computers to get things up and running and to get someone to do the classes. But for Spanish, the teachers are working. Your child has not been doing any taking home the Spanish book since?
No.
Which class is that, please? You don't need to tell me the name of the child.
K1 and K3.
K1 and K3. All right, I'll say about that because I know I have been working with the K2 and they have been working with their Spanish book. Okay, thanks for bringing that to my attention. What I know is that some person, the K1s, they were saying that they are not able to source the Spanish book. So that because majority of them don't have it. So that may be a reason for the K1s. But for the K3, they should have their Spanish book. So you were able to source your K1 child Spanish book. Hello?
No, but I was wondering if they were doing anything in class at all, any lessons at all concerning Spanish.
Maybe not, because the teacher had put it on because they were saying that the parents weren't able to get the book. But those for K2, those who are in K2 now, they are using the same Spanish book because they weren't utilized last year completely. And so that's why I already asked that they buy another one. And for those in K2, they brought over it to K3. And one of the reasons why, because Miss Fraser, who normally does the Spanish, she's off on maternity leave. But I did ask the teachers to work with them in it nonetheless, because it's not like CXC Spanish that they can't do it. So that's one of the reasons for them probably not doing it. She's off on maternity leave. But I can guarantee when she's back in January. But nonetheless, they should be still doing some work from it. All right.
Okay, thank you.
Right, you're welcome.
Are there any more questions before we break? And I really thank you so much, parents, for really staying with us for this time, given your challenges. I know some of you may still be on the road, so I really appreciate it of you actually taking the time out of your busy schedule to be with us and to share with us. I do bid you farewell and good night and safe journeys. I know for some of you, you're going to be putting your child to bed. For some of you, you're gearing up for your second job. So I know for some of you, you have quite a bit to do. So I really want to encourage us as parents again, as I did in my opening, to say just continue to be patient and to work with your child and just to watch and see them flourish and grow. So thank you again, ladies and
Mr. Taylor, just before you go, another thing here, because I've noticed it, and I can speak for the class that I'm working closely with, the K2. A number of children, they are coming back with either incomplete or the homework is not being done. I'm asking that the parents with homework comes home 3 times for the week, Monday, Wednesday, and then on the weekend. Please to work with your child, right? We can do so much and no more. We need you to reinforce when they get home. I know it's tiring for some of you when they come, but if it's even to final 5 minutes, it's not the length of time, but the quality of time that is spent with the child. And there are some who will be calling in to speak with them individually, because I'm really having some serious concern, because we can't have children now who don't know letter sound, don't know the name, not even the letters in the name they cannot identify. That is unacceptable. We need to work, because it can't be that the teachers alone are to do the job. Parents will need results. It's a partnership. And I'm going around to the classes and I'm making my notation, and I will be calling in parents. All right, and there were some who we had a discussion with before that know they need to get some additional help for the children. I'm not seeing it, and we're going to have a discussion, because at the end of the day, they are going to say the school never done nothing, and I will not stand for that. All right, so look out for the calls, look out for the letters, and please just work with your child. All right, thank you.
Okay, Miss, there's a question in the group. What color socks or stocking is required for the Christmas concerts?
It would be white, most naturally for the girls, because they'll be wearing their white dresses, so they'll wear white socks or white stocking. The boys would wear their black socks or navy blue socks.
Okay, and one suggestion in the group, Mr. regarding the Spanish for the pages to copy. Somebody can copy the pages. So I'm not quite sure for persons in the particular class if they can get the pages that needs to be completed copied.
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
For the Spanish.
But if the entire class don't have the book, what they're going to do? Copy the pages each time for the entire class? I don't see that feasible.
Okay.
And who will be taking on the responsibility to copy all those pages? If it is, they don't get it, because the thing is, even though they might not have the book there, I know the teachers, because they keep on there doing like the colors, so they'll tell you azul is blue, or they'll tell you the number for 1 is they'll know those things, they will do those things. So not having the book, it means that they will, because it's not like it's sexy Spanish. So if the books are not available, the teachers will do what they can without the book. If say by January the books will come available and parents buy them, then we work with it from there. But I don't see, if they don't have it, who is going to copy all those pages?
Okay. Okay, thank you for that.
I just need to know the letters, the colors, and stuff like that.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much, Miss. Okay, so parents, again, just to remind you to go on the link and fill in the attendance. I had about 90 over close to 100 parents in the meeting, and I'm still not seeing that amount of persons. So I'm going to ask you, please.
Excuse me, Mr. Taylor, I think you need to resend the link. I was trying to send it.
I'm just about to. Right, so I'm going to share it again just now, so persons can have the link. So let me send the link.
And the teachers who are on need to register as well.
Right, that would be important. So let me share that just now so everybody can have it. So it's in the chat right this moment. Just click and fill in, please.
And it's just 3 questions.
Right, it's just your name and the child's name, and you state the class and your email address. That's it. So we can validate that you actually filled it out.
Good evening.
Okay.
Hello.
Go ahead.
Okay then, earlier in your opening remarks, you were speaking about list, meaning like what the class would need and the list and
Correct.
but I had put a message in the group that I don't have that list. I don't have a list for especially my son's class for what they would want us to work on. So I
Okay.
was wondering where we get that list from.
Okay. So your class rep is supposed to be communicating that information to you. So I'm going to reach out to parents and say to the parents, you do have a class rep, and your class rep, generally information is shared with your class rep, and the expectation is that they're going to pass this information along to you. If it is that you're not getting any communication from your class rep, I would ask you to reach out to me and we will do something about it, okay?
Or maybe that class don't have anything that they need, Mr. Taylor. That's a possibility. I don't think everyone has a
Well,
list.
every class has something to do. So please reach out. Let me just see if we can get some action done for you. Okay. And you have my contact details.
No.
861-2306. And I'm placing it in the chat.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, any more questions before we close out the meeting? Okay, if there be nothing further, I will just ask one parent to move to for the adjournment of the meeting and another to second. For the minutes, may I say who is moving to adjourn the minutes?
I so move for the meeting to be terminated.
It's very good. Chat
Make
session.
it second.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ms. Burnett and Melissa.
I was telling you, S. Vernon in the chat said she was the second.
Oh, S. Vernon. Where is S. Vernon? I'm not seeing her. Okay, Miss Vernon. Okay, great. Okay, Miss Vernon. Thank you so much.
Before you sign up, just check if more persons have signed up, Mr. Taylor.
Let me see how many persons. My tracker says we have of the number, we have 83 responses so far. So that is fairly good from our listing. So we have 83 responses, 84 now. So I'm going to close out the meeting register right after. I'm going to give it 5 minutes extra. So please take a few minutes to fill in your details so I can send the list to Ms. Burnett. She will have to register. And please remember that it is a legal requirement that we maintain a register. So that's one of the reasons why we do it, okay? All right, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and some of the students who are on. Thank you so much for staying and sharing in the meeting. Have a very good night, and God bless you all and your families.
Good night.
everyone.
Thank you. Same to you and good night, everyone.
Bye. Shani, I see you have your hand up.
Go ahead, Mr. Taylor.